My outdoor kitchen. Here we go.
Kitchen build here, outdoor kitchen. This is where it's gonna go. I have it labeled up right here. So I have gas, water, and electrical all plumbed. The drain I'm gonna have to figure out in a second. I have some drainage in the back. I purchased my studs at Home Depot. I had them delivered. It was $79. I think I overdid it, but I have a receipt, so anything that I don't use, I'll send back. And some of the tools you'll need is some snips, right, left, straight, square, laser level, levels, clamps, tape measure, drill, power drill, obviously some plans. So I drew up some plans here. This is what I intend to do. This is what it's going to look like, hopefully. And this is what I attempt to do today.
All right, on your plan phase, you have to know what type of material you're going to use on your counter. If it's concrete, if it's granite, you have to know. What type of exterior cladding, the walls, what are you going to put on that exterior cladding? Because all those measurements have to come into play. You have to know. You have to know. Design wise, I even suggest knowing what exact color materials you're going to use, because you're going to get to a point where it's built and now what do we do? What do we put? And if one person's saying, oh, let's do wood, and you already put concrete board, it's not going to work. You can't screw in exterior wood cladding onto concrete board. So all these materials, you have to know what you're going to use. And the framing is going to be minus all this material. So if it's going to use 2 cm, which 3/4 inch granite, or 3 cm, which is 1.25 inch granite, you gotta know, because your counter height is part of that counter, granite or concrete. So you have to really know what you're going to be putting on to this kitchen. Okay, when I started my build and I was looking at metal studs, I looked on YouTube and found multiple videos on how these framers work this material. This is a guy making a header. So it's a basic header. I think this header is just for maybe access panels, something that's not going to hold weight. So I wouldn't use this for the grill or the burners or anything like that, but this is just for access panels here.
Build the back wall. This is going to be for the counter, and since I'm going to go on this wall there, I have to put the hardy backer or the concrete exterior board and then seal it before I could install it. I got my concrete board on my wall. That's going to be that wall, the rear, and I already put the mesh tape on. So what's annoying is every time I put the thin set, it starts to move. So I'm gonna staple this. First time. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it should. Why wouldn't it? You know? Go. Stapled mesh. See how it looks like. A butter baby. I'm using this red guard. It's like I would say paste to seal the back wall. Since I won't be able to get to the back wall, I have to do this before. This is kind of annoying. Like I said, it's gonna go right there. So I have to treat this back wall. So I'm gonna leave this like this on the back. Got the back wall, the counter backsplash that I'll have up. I got this idea from, I forgot his name, on YouTube. I'll shout him out later. These electrical outlets will go here, whatever which way. And so when we poured our concrete, we had to do a little slope away from the structure because we were getting water pooling from the old patio, so we didn't want that. We did a patio cover, and so it's a 3-inch drop from my starting point to my ending point. This thing is 13 feet 3 inches. So I got it all framed up, and this back wall, I'm not gonna see it. So I put some concrete board and I sealed it with red guard. So I'm not gonna see it. And there's gonna be a lip there. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with the rear wood fence. Gotta figure that out. But so the counter is gonna be 36 inches, that's starting. But anyways, so each stud had to incrementally get taller by 5/16. So I started at 47, and then it's gonna go over here to 50. So it's kind of annoying, but that's what we had. There was no other way around it. I'm not gonna shim the base of this 3 inches. So I put Trex all around. That's a different color Trex, but anyways, I have Trex there. I already put the anchor bolt there. I ruined one, but then that one's good. And I just put 3, I think that's enough. And you can see the inside of my concrete board, and also put liquid nails, so just to seal it up properly. And what I did is, so 12, 24, 36, they're at 3 feet increments. So I wanted to use one strip of concrete backer. So what I did was I put a stud across, and see, I was able to put one side here, one side there, because concrete backer, if you screw it in right at the edge, it breaks. So this got me a good little fixation. So I like that. That was a key move for me. It worked out, and I was able to use one slab there, or one sheet there, one sheet there, one sheet there, one sheet there, and part of a sheet here. So it worked out perfectly. So now going forward, when I'm framing up my barbecue island, I'm gonna do 36 inches away from the corner. You know, I'll do 16 inches on center, but at the 36 mark, I'll do something like this where I'm able to screw into, because that's where the cladding is gonna go, and I wanna have a good foundation. So for now, this is good. Pretty much plumb here, so that's good. I think I'm good for now. This was a project because it was just hard to figure out this layout. I had to incrementally size it up higher. ChatGPT helped me. It gave me the chart, and I just had to cut them and put them together. So all it was the manpower. But there's the back wall. More to come soon. All right, another tip is, I saw one video when I was looking at design. People were using studs for the track, which I don't know, that doesn't really work well. So you have to use track. See how it doesn't have a hole? These have a hole. This is a stud, this is a track. So the track, this hole has to be on the bottom side down. Don't ask me why, but that's how it should be. So that's one of the things that I noted. You know, screws in each one. This one's a little sticking out, fix that. But overall, looking good so far. Oh, chingas, dude. Studs. Winging it, but it's pretty level. El que es perico and el que es verde. And then this is where I can screw in. So let's see if it fits. Maiden voyage here. It's a little tight. Knew it. I knew it. I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna flip it, but that looks pretty good. Put this down like that. Switch that out. Put it on this side. Get it better. cooking with grease. All right, so there it is. So now I just have to screw it in. It's still level there. That's for my teppanyaki, for my griddle. So now I just drill these in. I think I should be set. Make sure this is in. And I don't even need the clamp. I just start it off. Bam. Put it in. And I could put 2 more on the studs. I think that should be enough support here. Just make sure this is all the way in. Boom. I love it. You know, obviously this is trial and error. I'm not a professional. I may look like one, but I'm not. I have the griddle framed up. Seems kind of sturdy. You know, a few things. I didn't extend it far enough, but with the hardy backer that's going on top, it'll be fine. I put this framing here for the griddle. It's all level. I just need my studs at the bottom, but there's going to be a cabinet there, cabinet drawer, stainless steel door, so I have to figure that out right now. The good thing is this is 30.5, and the cabinet door is 22.5, so I have some room to play with. Put some studs here and frame it up nicely, but it's coming out okay. The issue is I have a slope, down slope, so I took a laser level and I have to mark the line that I need, and then take the laser level and go over here. So this number down is gonna be longer than this number because of the slope. So that's the problem with my patio, but we're working around it. It should work. Framed up my grill. My opening for the cabinet, it was an issue. We thought we ordered a cabinet door with 2 drawers, but I just got 2 doors. The good thing is the same catalog number, same dimensions, 4 drawers. So I don't have to fix that. That's good. But it's all looking okay. It's painstakingly. It's not easy. It's kind of annoying. If you're an antsy person and you want to get it done, this is not the project for you. This is just kind of annoying. The screws go in. It's not easy. But you know, I'm level here. Boom, right on the money. So that's my counter, and then 1 3/4 up is going to be for hardy backer, 1/2 inch, and then 3 cm or 1 1/4 inch of granite. Some people go 3/4, but a lot of the guys I've been talking to saying that 3/4 might be too thin for exterior. So I'm going 3 cm granite. It's going to cost me a little more. And then we extended it out to about that line. So I have to account for the concrete board, which is 1/2 inch, and another 1/2 inch of cladding, which is going to get me to that line there. So should work. Just keep framing here. I am 90% done. Trying to figure out if the refrigerator will go here. Not sure. We got to figure that out. Once we decide, I'll install some studs, brace it up better. I mean, it's a little wobbly, but once I put my concrete board, it's going to give it that rigid feel. And this is going to be the sink right there. So this will be counter space, sink, burner, grill, and a griddle. So the griddle and the grill are interchangeable, same dimensions. So I could either go over here, flip it. So once the wife gets involved and we figure this out, I'll come and install these, and then we'll see what works best. I have a combo access panel drawer here. So it's a 3-door access panel. And if we put the refrigerator here, I had to figure the supply lines. I would have to move them a little to the right, to the left. That's not a big issue. And this is another combo door with drawers. So this is 26 and a half by 20 and a half. This one's a little bit bigger. This was 34 and a half with 20 and a half height. And so since we didn't have a lot of space, well, 11 feet here, we wanted some counter space, so we went Griddle, 3.5 feet of counter space. I think that's good. You know, you could sit here and then we'll have the top rack to put stuff, and grill, burner, sink right here, and then another 3 feet of counter space. So I think counter space is okay. I wish, you know, we could do more. We could wrap this whole backyard and kitchen, but that's not gonna happen. And this is my workstation. You know, I did have, you know, some waste. You're gonna have some waste. I still have another track here that I'm gonna use, and then another stud, but everything else kind of waste here and there. It's kind of a mission, but it's fun. On the box header, I created, it's one track on the on top, one track on the bottom, 2 studs on the side, and creates this box header, really strong. And on the stud, you cut a little longer so you could screw in. So this is to size of the opening, and then but the studs you cut 2-inch wider. And then this is a track that I kind of went across. See how I did ears here. See that? Boom. And it gives it a better rigidity. This is another way of doing a header. This is a basic one, since this was not a large load. It's just a drawer. I created this one. I put some studs in between. You see that? So that's that box header. Really sturdy. I like it. The way I created it. I got it off YouTube. Worked pretty well. And I framed this up. This is the burner here, 13 inches. This is 30.5 inches. And once you start squaring it up, use a laser level, and you start squaring it up, it starts just falling into place. You'll see that it starts to get easier as you go along. And then you'll make mistakes, you'll redo something, and then you'll do it better. When I originally framed this up, I had to redo it because I didn't go all the way across, and I made a mistake on a measurement, so I had to redo it. So then I just did it better. Originally I had stopped here, but then I said, let me create some ears and go across to give it that rigidness, you know? So it's a learning process, but it's actually pretty fun. It's like building Legos, okay, true. And then if you have that sawzall, or that, I'm sorry, chop saw, it just cuts the studs way easier. So going at it still. I recommend hiring a licensed electrical contractor to run your electrical. But that being said, I did it myself. So I installed a 20 amp breaker for my barbecue. So it's on now. And I used 12-2 UFB burial. I don't know how to call it Romex, but it's cable. And I put it in a plastic conduit. So I buried it in the ground, 18 inches deep. Sorry about my lawn, just because this project is taxing. So this is a GFCI for, you know, using it for whatever outside. And what I didn't want, this is the direct line going into my barbecue. I didn't want it to be GFCI controlled from here. No, I don't want that. So I had to pigtail my GFCI and run a direct line to my barbecue. So right now it's on. And so right now it's all direct line. This is the junction box right here. And so this is junction box. I ran direct line. So there's no GFCI here. So this is live wire right now. I have it exposed. So my first GFCI is gonna go here. And so what I'll do is connect the top circuit to the GFCI, and the bottom will be here, and it'll control every other outlet. So this doesn't need to be a GFCI. This is the one that's going to control it. So this is the master. If anything happens, I'll reset it. So one thing that I didn't want is I wanted a direct line. So this line is good. This line is good. So this is still live. No GFCI yet. No GFCI here. That's for the refrigerator. So I'm coming over here, and this is where the refrigerator is going to be, and this side. So I'll show you. I have my GFCI tester, and it's not going to trip. So that's what I wanted, a direct line to my refrigerator. I didn't want it have nuisance tripping, because they say if you shut your refrigerator off, you should wait 15 to 20 seconds before you restart it. And we're not going to do that. People are just going to reset my electrical outlet and might damage the refrigerator. So that's what I did. I isolated the electrical. I wanted a direct circuit to my refrigerator and not GFCI installed. So it wasn't that difficult. I ran it. I bought these little clips, and I ran the electrical sheath cable there. It's just a little tinkering, but it worked pretty good. So now I ordered on Amazon, I ordered USB with the lightning fast cable charger. So those will come in. So I'll put one here. It's also a GFCI. So it's going to be GFCI, lightning cable, USB, and the GFCI is going to control this. It's going to shut that off if needed. And then I'll put another lightning and USB on that one with GFCI and here as well. So the electrical is done. Now I have to plumb the plumbing and the gas. That's next. Officially done framing. It is a behemoth. So refrigerator goes here. I have to remove this track at the bottom because it sits on the base. Towel rack. I got my GFCI. Access panel right here. Sink. It's all plumbed. We have a hot cold system for hot water. So you'll have counter space here, sink, counter space, burner, griddle, counter space with the access panel. That gets an access panel as well, some drawers, access panel with drawers, access panel with drawers, and the grill. The top shelf is for the granite countertop. I got the backsplash. I have the GFCI that controls all the downstream outlets. This one's also a GFCI, and it's got the super fast charger for iPhones and then the regular USB. I got my water supply connected. And my gas. Gas is there. Electrical. So officially done with framing, which is a godsend. This thing kind of kicked my butt. It just takes a little time. The good thing is you could fix your mistakes. You just unscrew whatever you did and redo it. And for cutting, I do recommend using snips for just regular cuts like this, when you're cutting the corners or whatever, but not to make your studs and your track cuts. You have to use a miter saw. So I used a miter, and I got the 90 tooth blade. And so that made easy cuts, nice and straight. So I do recommend cutting with a saw, miter saw with those 92 blades. So all done. Right, when working with concrete board, it's kind of annoying. It'll break on you if you don't drill properly. So what I do is put it on reverse. My stud's here. So I drill into the hardy back, concrete board, in reverse. Once I hit my stud, there you go, put it in forward, drill it in. So that means you don't have to take a drill, pull out, you know. So you use the screwdriver as your drill and then put it on forward and shoot it in. Here she is, kitchen island build. Roxy. So what I did is, it's a big counter here, refrigerator. The granite guy told me to put hardy backer, so I did. Concrete board for the walls. I put an extra gas line here in the back in case I need anything. So this is it right here. I'm done with the exterior. Now I'm just waiting on the granite. I should have called them sooner, but I had to make sure everything was installed before I called them out. So it's going to take a week and a half to 2 weeks to get the granite installed. So grill right here. I put the appliances in to test them. They fit. This is my grill here, and I will have a griddle and a side burner. Got my mail stand right here. Anybody knows what that is, but it's a good working tool. So I have my tools and everything. So it was difficult, but it was easy, if that makes sense. And it's a fun project. All right, this is the beast here. So I installed the thin set. I covered all the holes or the screws, and now it feels like one complete structure. It's a little hollow, but with the thin set, it just gives it a better bond. It just feels a lot more rigid, and you know, obviously the concrete board gave it more rigidity, and then now the thin set just kind of made everything one unit. So next is the red, well, I'm not even sure what it's called, some kind of red seal. So I'll install that. I'll paint it red guard. There it is. It's this stuff. Red guard, $55 a fucking gallon. And anyways, so I have half of one because I did the backside of this wall as red guard, and now I just kind of need to, when I'm done, I just put it in, so it's already curing, it's drying, but it comes out gray. But there are areas like this that I'll just kind of sand off. That shouldn't be a big issue. I just chip away at it. It's not an issue. It's thin set. It comes off real easy, but it's pretty much all done. So now we were gonna go with this granite, but it seems to be too white. So now we're on hold. We got to figure out what we're going to put on here. So I need to put some red guard to give it a seal, moisture barrier, and then pick the granite or whatever we're going to put on top, and the exterior cladding. So that's what's holding us up now, but this is it. It's coming along. Just finished sealing it with red guard. I'm okay. But I used to. Yeah, that's good. Más a ver qué le pongo para el cladding.
For the site?
Allá, a ver, todo ni sé. No, pero está bien. Making progress. I installed the backsplash stack stone with the granite. I don't know about this color, but whatever. It is what it is. It's done. And so I didn't have corners, so I went spoon and across this way, this way, this way. And I had a little gap, so I grouted it. You can't really tell. Put grout there, I can't tell. So, see, I had to build this thing to cover it. And Sally doesn't like the seam there, see that? So I should have done like that. But the fall is that way, so whatever. So I'm gonna have to fix it. I'm gonna have to find new ones and just, only 30 bucks. So just put them that way. Just cover. And then I had to install it after the fact. So I put it in between the wall here. I told the neighbor and he said it was cool. All right, here is the finished product. Although my sink, that's the problem. I just do that. But this is how it looks, sort of in the day. I have the cover on, so I don't get a lot of sun. And all right, so what I did was on the exterior cladding, since it's all uneven, see that? I grouted inside because there was going to be some wide gaps. So it looks good with the grout. I mean, like, you can't really tell it's there, I mean, unless you're looking. See that? So I grouted it. 2 spots I do need to reseal, re-grout. So here's the backsplash. I like it. It's clutch because I can put stuff up here, and it doesn't allow for things to fall over, and it gives it a nice look. And I got some LEDs installed for the top. If you can see them right now, you can see them right there, and it looks nice. So that's the granite. Looks cool. That's the counter space, more counter space, and more counter space. So towel rack. This is counter space I need to clean up in there. Drawers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawers. And we already used the grill, tested it out, and I bought this little smoker because natural gas, you don't get that mesquite flavor. So worked well, tasted good. And then on the griddle, we haven't used it yet. It just looks clean. Look at that. So we'll use it. We'll invite people over and have barbecue. On the burner, we already used that. We fired it up to fry some chilaquiles. So there she is. And then another thing that I do need is there's a metal frame that you could buy around your refrigerator. So right now we just have wine in here. We drank it already, but we set it to the lowest setting just to put wine in here. It looks good. So I'm all done with the build. This is what it looks like. I mean, I still need some odds and ends. It came out pretty clean. I'm kind of happy about what I did with the corners. So if you use stack stone like I did, and I grouted it with the same exact color, so you can't really tell the corners. See, from here you can't really tell what the corners look like. They just look clean. I'm not a mason, but I did, or a tile guy, but I did pretty good with this tile for some reason. I don't know, I just got lucky. It's not easy. And see, look at the gap right there. It's just clean. The corners came out nice. Like I said, with the grout, it just sealed it nice. You can't see the gaps, you know. That's the underside of that. So that's it.